I will go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. On January 5th. Vanita, could you please determine if there is a quorum with a roll call? We'll start with that.
You're on mute, Vanita.
Do you want to do the roll call, Craig, or?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
Sarah Fuller.
Here in Ann Arbor.
Jamal Bufford.
Here in Superior Township.
All right. David Esau.
Here in Ann Arbor.
Allison Barr.
Present, Ann Arbor.
John Katarski.
Here in Ann Arbor.
Peggy Leonard. Marietta Porter.
Here in Ann Arbor.
Sophie Grier.
Here in Ann Arbor.
You have a quorum.
All right. So I forgot that Peggy wasn't here. So has anyone heard from Peggy if she would attend or not tonight? No? Okay. Well, I guess we will continue on and I will try and email her and see if she can attend for part of this. So we want to go ahead and set a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
John, thank you. And a second? David and Marianetta, thank you both. All right, so we're going to move on to approval of the minutes and our December retreat 2021 minutes. We will go over those at the next meeting. So we are going to delay the approval of the December minutes.
Don't we need to vote on the agenda?
We do need to vote on the agenda. Let's go ahead and vote on the agenda. So everyone that would like to move forward, please raise your hand. Thank you for bearing with me as I get used to running these meetings. And thank you to John for the Robert's rules because that is helping quite a bit. All right, so we will move on to old business.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the December meeting.
Okay.
We don't
do that on the next.
Meeting. Yep. So old business, we wanted to formally announce the Golden Paintbrush Award winners. I'm sure all of you have seen the wonderful work Vanita and the communications department has done on putting the webpage together for the Golden Paintbrush Award winners, but I will also list them here. So that is the Ann Arbor Arts Center for the Ann Arbor Arts Center mural projects and the Art Box program. So they were awarded for 2 amazing projects they completed this year. David Zinn's lovely Singing in the Rain mural. The Youth Art Month installations with accordance with the Ann Arbor Public Schools, some wonderful work there. And then the City of Ann Arbor's I Voted stickers. So those are our Golden Paintbrush 2021 winners. And I think then we are ready to move on to new business.
Can I ask a quick question before we do that?
Mm-hmm.
The next step with the Golden Paintbrush is for it to go to City Council for them to get the awards. Do we have any idea when that's happening? Thank you, Craig.
And yes, Craig, if
I'll jump in. Council has gone back to in-person meetings. So we have reached out to Sarah Higgins to see how council will do that, because it's going to have to be a no contact type of event. And right now, the meetings are hybrid. Council's in the chambers, staff is online. Some residents are in the chamber, some residents are online. So we quite haven't figured out the mechanics of how you're going to do the introduction and presentation of those. But that is our intent.
Thank you so much, Craig. And Sophie? Sophie, you're on mute.
Okay. Yes, I was just going to say we have one more award to come as well, which will be the People's Choice Award. So hopefully that's going to be up on the same page with the announcements, inviting people to choose their favorite. And so we have a little time before the council will be asked to make those awards. So that's coming very soon, and will be an additional award.
And we're excited to be able to do an on-site presentation of the awards. And thank you, Vanita, for coordinating that. Our tile awards are ready to go. And so we just await a date to present them at this point. Does anyone else have any questions regarding the Golden Paintbrush Award before moving on? All right, fantastic. Then we can move on to new business, which is congratulations to Jamal as our new vice chair. And I'm moving into the chair role. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Allison for her service as chair. She is just wonderful to work with, so organized, and has really, on the time I've been on this commission, been such a wonderful leader and very generous with your advice and resources. John as well, thank you so much for your work on the Leadership Nominations Committee. And Jamal, if you would like to say anything, please take the floor.
Sure. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I'm excited to get acquainted with this role and learn a lot. John did a great job of explaining a lot of the responsibilities to me. And yeah, thank you, Allison, for helping us get the annual plan together. Super helpful with that. So just excited, and thank you for the opportunity.
And Allison, if you would like to say anything, your role as
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be around. You know, I'm really excited about the new leadership, though. I think you guys are going to be phenomenal. And just thanks for all the support all of you have given me over the past couple of years while I've been chair, and looking forward to what you guys can accomplish as leaders.
John.
I would just like to also thank Allison. She's been on this board. She's been in the position of chair for 3 years. And under her tenure, the commission has moved forward in very positive, dramatic ways. We really have diversified under her tenure. We've also sought out and received some money, a grant. And I think it's due to her leadership, and I appreciate it. And I think that we've talked about something official, kind of a letter of appreciation coming from the entire commission. And if that's at all possible, I think this would be an excellent time to move that forward, that to recognize Allison's leadership formally. So thank you very much, Allison. I'm glad you're still with us, and going to stay hopefully for several years. But so I defer to our chair and vice chair. We've talked about it. If there's a way that I could help in any way, I'm more than happy to. But I think we should formalize this this change of leadership in a way that shows our appreciation for Allison's hard work.
I think that is a fabulous idea, John, and that is definitely something that we will discuss in the coming months to celebrate Allison and her amazing stewardship as chair. And Craig.
If the commission comes up with the verbiage they desire, I will speak on behalf of Anita that we can put it on city letterhead and make it official.
Fantastic. Thank you, Craig, and thank you, Vanita. All right. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add to new business tonight? All right, then I think we are ready to move on to a report from staff, which I believe we do not have a report from staff tonight. So unless that's changed.
What is the annual plan review under new business?
The annual plan we completed earlier this afternoon, and we will be sending that out to review. So I will be adding everyone on the commission your email addresses to review what Jamal and I put together with the help of Allison. And in conversation with Vanita as well earlier this afternoon, we will be looking to present that in our February meeting to council.
Okay.
Sophie.
Hi, yeah. Does the annual plan include the suggestions we were all asked to come up with for ideas for the future, or is that a separate thing?
So we have added most of our goals put together during our retreat. Allison took some great notes that we've been working off of. Some of our goals were, agreed upon by multiple commission members. Other goals were, given by individuals. So at this point, and something once we, move that forward, most likely tomorrow, we will all get, access to edit that document. We want to really look forward to those goals and make sure that, it's more than just one person on a working group that has set that goal, that's something that, we agree upon as a group. So, once we have that editing power, which will be given to you tomorrow, then we will be able to move forward and, narrow or expand upon those goals.
Okay.
Any other questions about the annual plan? Allison?
I think I failed to mention to you guys when we talked about the plan that as part of the plan, the CIP list is supposed to go with it. I know that LinkedIn is our last CIP list that got approved, but David and I met today as a CIP group, and so there's going to be new things that'll go on that. And so that should be part of this report.
Absolutely. I put in a placeholder, of what we'd like to do for 2022. So once we have that document, we will certainly link to that. And I think, having this ready to present to council, in February, that gives us a little more time to make sure that we've put everything together, including that CIP plan, which is a very important part of the entire plan and certainly of that working group. Anything else regarding annual plan questions, comments, concerns? All right, then I think we are ready to move on to the report from committees. And we will continue with our CIP working group, Capital Improvement Project Working Group. David or Allison, anything to add about the CIP work this year?
Sure. We got a new CIP in mid-December. The committee met, which is Sarah and Allison and myself, talked about some options with it, set up a meeting with Deb, which occurred today because she was on a pretty extended vacation because she had vacation time she needed to use up by the end of the year. So Deb Goslin is the person who runs the CIP with the city, and has been very helpful in all these things. So we met with her today. We have a better sense of what we need to do. We just need to get the three of us back together again and make a final plan to put in front of the commission.
Thank you, David.
Craig had his hand up. I don't know. I think there was a report from staff about the WTP project. It looked like in the agenda.
I was just going to say it stands as written. So.
Oh, okay.
Don't have to add anything.
Thank you, Craig and Allison. So we will move on to our outreach working group, which includes Sophie, Peggy, and Marianetta. Anything to report? Sorry, Sophie, I think you're on mute.
Sorry, I always do that backwards, speak first, press the button afterwards. Yes, I think it's a little early, but I would like to arrange a meeting with the other members of the group, or whoever would like to arrange a meeting, because I'm eager to get started with it. Anyone else? Marianetta, or Peggy's not here. Marianetta, did you have any thoughts about the outreach?
No, I think some ideas came up at our last meeting kind of collectively that I think would be good for our outreach committee to talk about a little bit more. We haven't met yet, but I'm looking forward to working with Peggy and Sophie.
I know part of what discussed was Monument Lab as an example. And I don't know if you saw, Sophie, but the Penny Stamps lecture series just was their calendar was just put out, and Monument Lab is supposed to be coming in March as part of their lecture series. So maybe we can all go, or virtually go, or however they're doing it.
That'd be great.
An in-person or virtual field trip.
I like that.
Well, wonderful. And, looking at the annual plan, we've put some of those goals that we discussed at the retreat for the outreach working group. So it'll be great for Marianetta, Peggy, and Sophie for you to take a look at that and, give us any edits that you think should be, included in that plan for this working group, which is new this year because it has absorbed a few of our other working groups. So, there's onwards and upwards. Wonderful places to go with that. All right, so I will move on then to the special projects working group, which includes Sophie, Peggy, Jamal, and myself. I do believe, most of what we're doing right now is just completing the Golden Paintbrush Award from 2021, which we've, discussed a bit before. So, Vanita is working on getting our People's Choice linked up on our webpage. Our Observer ad is running, and we're working on getting those on-site award presentations together. And then, of course, we will move on to 2022's Golden Paintbrush Award. I think we've learned a lot over the past year of how to facilitate this award. So I look forward to working with all of you on, making 2022's award, submissions, call to the public, all of that. The award presentation will make that really nice and smooth. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Yeah, not about the golden paintbrush, but there was some talk about a city flag design being proposed And we might at some point perhaps ask Lynn if she can ask the mayor if he still has that in mind. I know he's a very busy man, and so probably it doesn't reach the top of his agenda, but if he's still interested, then he doesn't have to say much to kickstart it, I would say.
Craig?
The resolution has been drafted and presented to the mayor. We did send a reminder, and I'm going to struggle as to how long ago it was done, and have not heard. So is in council's hands.
The last I chatted, when getting ready for this meeting, he said it's still on his mind. So I can follow up and see when we might schedule having that come to vote.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we had that last year under our youth outreach working group, which again has been absorbed into the outreach working group, but might be better suited to be under our special projects working group. So that's something we will definitely add to our annual plan goals under that specific group. So we can move on to our communications working group, which includes Allison, Marionetta, David, and myself. We have not met yet this year, as it is still early. But we will review, obviously, our goals from the annual plan and move forward with that. We just used some funds from our endowment to fund the Ann Arbor Observer ad for the Golden Paintbrush Award, which is something that we talked about using those funds for last year. We've done so successfully now. So we hope to see more of that type of action being taken in 2022. And if anyone else has anything to add for the communications work group, that would be great.
No, just similar to Sophie, I think we need to get a date on our calendar and meet and get some stuff rolling.
Yep.
All right. So then we have our leadership working group, which includes Jamal and myself. Our first act in our leadership working group has been to put together the annual plan, again, with wonderful help from Allison, which will be shared editing powers to everyone on the commission, so we can take a look at that, make sure we're all on the same page, and forge forward in 2022. I do believe we still have an open spot on our commission to replace Wasantha Young, who gave wonderful service last year to the commission. So that is, definitely something on our agenda that we want to accomplish sooner rather than later for 2022. So if everyone, kind of keeps that on their mind, if there's anyone that in your networks that you think would be a great fit, just keep us in the loop. And we'll continue to review submissions with Vanita and Craig as well, and the mayor to fill that spot. Jamal, do you have anything to add for leadership?
No, I don't think so. Just got my feet wet with this annual plan. It was good times. So yeah, nothing else to add.
It's a good one to get your feet wet. You get real entrenched in those bylaws and all your charges.
Yep.
And really, we cannot thank you enough, Allison, for your help.
Absolutely.
All right. So thank you both. And we will move on then to our fundraising and development working group, which includes Allison, David, and myself. We have not yet met this year. Again, still early. So we have the whole year to do that. And, I don't have too much to add to fundraising at this moment. David or Allison, do you have anything to add? We look forward to meeting soon. Lynn.
Can you explain to me who holds the endowment and how, or where the endowment is held and how it's dispersed?
I will take a stab and I'll screw up part of it, and Allison and Vanita can correct me where I'm wrong. It is held in the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation, and they contact us once a year, with funding or with disbursement, available funds, and the commission itself makes a determination whether they're going to take the money out or not and what they use it for. Did I essentially get it right, Allison?
Yeah, that's all right. You know, as endowments works, the interest rolls over, and that's what we can take the money off of. We got a large donation last year, which pretty much doubled our endowment, which is why there was more activity this year around with a better understanding of it. And you may have seen that last year, we also reevaluated what those funds could be used for. When the endowment was set up, there was no maintenance process within the city to maintain public art. So that was predominantly what the endowment funds were for. But now we have maintenance of the public art pieces within each of the departments within the city. So we wanted to kind of open up the doors to potentially facilitate purchasing public art, or like we've done most recently, communicating or acknowledging public art works with the advertisement about the paintbrush award. So we most recently took out $2,500 from our endowment and used about $600 on the Observer ad. So there's a little bit of money that's sitting at the city that we can still use this year from the endowment before we have to take out, or before we take more funds next year if we decide to. The past several years, we've just let it roll over and haven't used it and put it back into the endowment.
And also, how should I say this? The return on the investments over some of the years were not very well, didn't do well. So we didn't have much interest to take out. But with recent improvement in the markets, there's a little bit more money to be allowed to come up.
Thank you. I was curious about that because I was involved in the skate park effort, and there was an endowment established at the Community Foundation in a similar fashion, and making sure that the city was able to access maintenance funds for the park. And then I think there's an effort to add lights for skating at night too. So I'm glad that it's a similar and familiar setup on how we.
Thank you, Craig, Allison, and Lynn. Yes, and something else with our, fundraising working group is, we're always looking to new grant opportunities as well. So a goal of ours is to apply to at least one grant this year. Vanita is great about keeping us up to date on grant opportunities, and we're always looking for those as well, in addition to our endowment and any other kind of fundraising efforts we can put together. All right. Anything else to add for fundraising and development? All right, then I'm going to move on to our annual chair and vice chair review and election project. So that is John and Allison, and you have both clearly done your due diligence. We have new leadership this year, and if John or Allison, if either one of you would like to add to that working group, anything to report?
We have nothing to report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you both. And And before we adjourn, I apologize. I wanted to give a formal welcome to Lynn Song, our new City Council liaison and newest member to our commission. We are so happy to have you, Lynn. And if you would like to say anything, please take the floor.
Great, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm eager to participate. I myself am not an artist, but I support artists, and I appreciate the work that's involved in making sure our community is beautiful. I'd love to see more public art, especially as we start walking down this path of committing federal relief funds, seeing if we can build more affordable housing. I see public art when I travel. Recently in Hawaii, there's an effort annually with graffiti work that adorns one neighborhood along affordable housing project. Same in there's a really amazing project in Rome with 4 stories high murals and artists and residents in preparation for making sure low-income neighborhoods are as beautiful and as attractive as every other neighborhood. So there's an interest. I'd love to see Ann Arbor actually invest its time and money towards that end. And I'd like to see what I can do on this commission. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lynn. Yes, I think we have similar goals. And I think we're going to accomplish some great things in 2022. So again, wonderful to have you here. And before we adjourn also, does anyone have anything to add? Any upcoming events, art related, anything anyone would like to add before we adjourn for the evening?
Allison, I would like to applaud you. You've run a meeting 30 minutes. This is a record. I absolutely love it. Very well organized. Bim, bim, bim. Well done. And your first meeting.
Thank you very much, John. I have to thank you and Benita and Allison really for great examples, great agendas I can follow along. So thank you very much, John. And Sophie, I think I saw your hand.
Yeah, I have to remember what I was going to ask. One question and then a comment after that. Probably John can help with this one. I know that the capital improvement projects, the CIP thing is just for city projects, right? Not for private projects. But I'm thinking all the many buildings and things that are going up, which are privately being done. Would that all come under the group that John Kotarski is in with the planning permission type people? I forgot the name of it now. The design review board, exactly. The design review board. Does every single one come up to the design review board and give the opportunity for our input, or is there some gaps anywhere?
Let me just try to respond as best I understand it. The CIP is about municipal construction. The city builds about $50 million worth of stuff. And this commission was set up through the Percent for Art program. And that program was a set aside of 1% of all of that construction money. That changed in 2013 and it became voluntary. This commission was encouraged to identify potential for public art in the in the municipal construction projects, the CIP. And that's what David and his committee has been doing over several years. It's more voluntary. We have to inspire the city to do this. As far as private construction, it's somewhat similar. We have to inspire. We really can't order anybody to do anything. It just, and I like that, frankly. If it's a good idea, people will congregate around it. The design review board reviews development within the DDA kind of area. So that if you want to build something within that area, in other words, the downtown, that you have to present your plans to the design review board, and they give you advice. I am the Art Commission's liaison, so every project that comes up, I let designers know that it was unanimous to appoint a liaison from the Art Commission to the Design Review Board, because the City Council wants to see more public art done with private dollars. They have invested millions of dollars in public money, and they would like to encourage these developers to invest some of their money. And that gets kind of a favorable response. And then we suggest, as a design review board, some places in which these developers might consider public art. That's been kind of successful. The new development that's happening on William and Main, that I forget what the name of that huge project is. There's going to be a small piece of land that's set aside for a sculpture park. It's a mini park. It's right on Packard in Maine. The credit union, the U of M credit union, is going to redevelop, or renovate part of their building that is an Albert Kahn building that's on the corner of, I think it is Division and Huron. Yep. Is that right, Craig? And they're going to put an addition on the back of it. And I was successful in recommending they put some wayfinding public art screening for their dumpsters that would give a map of all of the Albert Kahn buildings that are on the campus. I mean, he's designed, I think, close to 15 buildings. I mean, the voice of Albert Kahn is really dominant in the University of Michigan. There's no place that really showcases that. They have really gotten excited about doing that. So those are two projects that I think the Art Commission can take credit for, that I know of that they're going to do. So those are two ways. In addition to that, the group with David, we've put together a public art idea book, and that's open to anyone. And there's probably 200 or 300 examples of public art around the world. And so folks that want to get ideas can go there, and it's eye candy for people that like public art. You'd love it, Lynn. And in addition, yes. So go ahead, David.
I was just going to say, I don't know why you're giving me credit for the idea book. You did the entire thing yourself. It's wonderful too. You deserve the credit.
Well, what David did by himself was a review process of how to think about public art within private construction. So, I mean, if it's kind of a novice, like I want to decorate the building. Well, that's one way of looking at it, but we would prefer not to decorate with public art. Public art really talks about, we think, an identifier, a language. It speaks something visually with coded images. So that one, you need to find a place that's prominent. Who's going to see it? How are they going to see it? And then from that, beginning to a location to a type of art. I mean, a mural is one thing, but there are a lot of other ways, reliefs and sculptures and all kinds of other approaches that developers can think about beyond murals. And then how do you select it? Well, as many folks that have been on the Art Commission for a long time know, that the most important thing isn't picking the art. It's getting the community to buy into it. So, you know, I mean, we revere a stone, a rock on Huron and paint it. It's a piece of public art. It is a rock. So if we can love that, you know, we can learn to love other kinds of things. But there really needs to be an engagement of the public. They need to participate and they need to feel some ownership. So that this group has suggested that, you know, get professionals to narrow it down to 3 home runs and then let the public kind of weigh in on one of those 3. That's our recommendation. So we kind of package that and we present it both to the city for their municipal construction and to private investors through the design review board, and then just generally from these projects that both David and I worked on. I hope that answers it. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Sophie, yes.
Yes, that answers it. That answers it very well. Thank you, John. I'm wondering if there might be a meeting or something, or a subcommittee meeting at some point where we can dream up ways of influencing also buildings which are outside of the downtown area, because there are so many of them now. It would be very exciting if we could make some inroads there. So that was that part. The other, I just wanted to tell everybody about something that happened in the world of monuments, which is, you probably remember when the Colston statue, the slave trader Colston statue, was thrown into the water in Bristol. And today, some of the people who were most prominent in doing that had their trial for vandalism, I think, and they actually were let off and were not indicted of anything at all. So that was rather remarkable, I thought.
Indeed. Thank you, Sophie, for sharing that important piece of world news today. And definitely a reason to think about the role that public art really plays in our lives, as John touched on. Art is a form of communication, right? And public art, of course, is a form of communication with our community that we are serving. And it is important to make sure that the messages that we are giving our community and that represent who we are as a community really speaks to equality and justice in this world. So thank you so much, Sophie. And sorry, just to circle back real quick to the other question, I believe with the leadership working group that Jamal and I will try to make some inroads to the Downtown Development Authority as well. I know that's focused obviously more on downtown buildings, but that is another way that we can make some inroads with private businesses, right? Private businesses, especially if they're in such a visible area, always benefit from serving the public. It gives them more visibility and also benefits them. So that's one way that we can also make some inroads with private development. And, we really hope to leverage our leadership forum list that we all created last year, with our networks, names of people that are artists and influencers in the art world in our community here, as well as, forging a stronger relationship with the, more newly developed Ypsilanti Art Commission. That we're able to all collaborate, to bring awareness of public art also to these private developments. Lynn, yes.
I'm actually a liaison for the DDA partnerships. I think it has a new name. It's Housing and DDA something. So if there's any way that I can help you on that, and seeing if we can get those conversations with them, they'd be happy for it. I think they've done some really great work in investing in the downtown infrastructure with the bike lanes. So So, I mean, it looks beautiful. So, and they're also pre-entitling and getting ready for the affordable housing in the DDA footprint too. So there are opportunities to work more closely together. I'd love to help.
That is exactly what we want to hear, Lynn. That is fantastic. So we will certainly set up, a meeting in the future where, we can kind of sit down and discuss some of these opportunities and, give you more background, answer more questions you have about the commission. All right. So anything else to add before we adjourn for the evening? No? All right. Then I have a motion to adjourn? John, and do I have a Sophie? Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everyone. Again, welcome, Lynn, and thank you all for your time tonight. And our next meeting will be Wednesday, February 2nd. Same time, 7 to 9 is our allocated time. So sure, I'll see some of you in between that time. But if I don't see you, I look forward to seeing you in February. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye.